Today, I am shamelessly using this video to talk about how I prep for campaigns because I think I am a genius. And that is because I use this. This is my DM campaign book, and yes, this is also just a scrapbook that I got from the local craft shop. I have this divided up in two parts, one for full-on campaigns and one for one-shots. I absolutely could also separate my one-shots into their own binder, and I probably will when my campaigns get a little thicker. The inspiration for this was Ginny D's character binder, but I took it a step further to use for dungeon master planning and campaign planning. I think it really helped me get a better idea of sessions and what to prep for sessions, because I was able to prep for this much easier because I was able to put in the main plot points that I wanted my characters to go down and go through. And while realistically I don't keep this whole binder behind my DM screen, I will usually only pull out a couple of pages that are relevant. I do think it is still important, and I definitely think that it has helped my session prep in between sessions now that I've got this fully mapped out. So let's talk about it. Hi folks, I'm Misty. This is Misty Steps. Kick off your shoes, get comfy, and let's get into it. Starting with how I use this for modules, which frankly I don't do a ton of, but when I do, I find a PDF version of the module so I can print specific pages that I think would be important to me. I'll grab stat blocks, maps, important notes about the world or about any particular NPCs, and items my players need to be sure to find, so any magic MacGuffins that are important to the plot. I will cut these out and make the most basic of scrapbook pages. These do not get super fancy. It doesn't have to be super fancy or detailed. It's just a lot easier for me to digest this in a couple of key paragraphs and a couple of maybe side notes than the walls upon walls of text that D&D often likes to give us. This is also where I will add in any notes for anything I'm changing. So whether that means edits to maps because I think an adventure might be a little too long for what I'm trying to do, or any characters or anything like that, this is where I will change that. The maps don't have to be super big either for me, because this is just something that I'm going to reference ahead of time before the game so that I can draw it out ahead of time before players arrive. Or so I can set it up on, say, Owlbear Rodeo if I'm playing online. Anything I make as peripherals, so newspapers, riddles, anything like that, I will add a little envelope onto one page and slide in an extra copy of it, so in the event that I am a moron and I do not print enough, or I lose my file before I can print, I at least have a singular reference for it and can tell players what it is that I'm looking for. Modules are already pre-written, but that doesn't mean your players will follow the book you're trying to follow. And so I like to leave a lot of room for extra notes. A lot of the times that will mean that I will have some extra actual notebook paper added on and take notes of decisions that were made by the characters so that I know moving forward how I'm going to adjust that. And truly, I do not keep this behind the DM screen with me. This is something that I use more for planning than what I do for actually running the game. It's more so notes so that if I decide to rerun an adventure, I have an idea of what it is that I would like to tweak or change, what it is that I liked or didn't like, and I can adjust it at that time. It's also really fun to kind of see how these develop as I get better at DMing as well, and I can see the difference between what I started with and what I have ended with as a DM and what I thought was a good adventure over the past few years and how that has evolved and changed. So this basically becomes a giant reference book for me, but where I think that this really shines, though, is for homebrew. I essentially created my own campaign book by doing this, so I like running mysteries and what clues I would want found at specific locations and what order I wanted to make sure that things occurred in could go there. It also helps make sure that pacing feels right. It doesn't mean it can't be changed or updated, or that I definitely haven't already changed names of NPCs because I forgot the name I was going to use, but essentially, the first few pages are just a giant mood board. It's like a Pinterest, but cut out physically there so that I can get the vibes and I can flip through and know exactly what it is that I'm looking for. It's also great for holding references or documentations. I do keep all of this still on a Google Drive document, but I like having that physical, tactile paper to help myself remember everything. It's also a great way to just show players references and vibe ideas so that they have an idea of what they're getting into when we start the campaign. Or if I'm having a hard time describing something, I can flip to that and I can say, this here, this picture, that's what we're looking at. One of my recent sessions, it was truly just the page with a stat block on it that I had, and a couple of notes about the map and what they might run into if they failed a skill check in the sewers. But that doesn't mean that that wouldn't evolve in the future. And truthfully, I haven't updated this recently because I am tired. It's been busy. It's been so busy, it's been so hectic in my life, so I haven't updated it recently. So I'm hoping to get that updated here as well. But this is also great because I can just add in additional pages if I feel like there's a need to do so. I know that there's a lot of stuff happening on the scrapbook, and for me it helps. It works similarly to a corkboard would with the red string pinning things together. I can look at one page and then go to the next page and I can see how those connect. And I can make the decision of how I want quest A to get to quest B to get to quest C. Or if the end goal is quest E, can they go in a different direction? Or what clues need to be moved around for them to be able to do that? And again, I think it's a cool future memento so that I can go through and see what maybe my players did or didn't do, and what did they decide was important versus what I had in mind. Again, I think it's a fun learning tool and it's a fun craft, and it has definitely been a very exciting process for me to see how this changes, and I'm very excited to get additional items moving forward in this. If you've stuck around this whole video, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your favorite way to organize your campaign notes, and I will see you next time.